This balcony produced over 40 pounds of food last summer. No garden bed, no ground. Just pots, buckets, and a couple of grow bags. And honestly, the thing that surprised me most wasn't the amount, it was which plants did it. Because some of the biggest producers were things I almost didn't bother planting in containers at all. Because some vegetables in containers are basically a waste of time. They take up space, need attention, and produce almost nothing you'd notice. And some of them produce so aggressively that a single pot genuinely feeds you for months without much effort at all. The difference between those two groups isn't luck, and is not skill. It's just knowing which ones belong in a container and which ones don't. That's what this list is. 15 that actually belong there, ranked by how much they produce. 15 plants. I'm going from solid, reliable performers all the way up to the one that genuinely blew my mind when I found out about it. Number 1 gives you 2 completely different edible harvests from the exact same container at the same time. Most people who grow this plant have no idea one of those harvests even exists. We'll get there. First, let's start with the ones that just consistently work and don't ask much from you. Number 15, radish. I know, not glamorous, but hear me out. Radishes go from seed to harvest in 25 days. That's it, 3.5 weeks. You can fit 20 seeds in a single pot and cycle through 3 or 4 harvests in the time it takes most vegetables to even establish themselves. They're also basically unkillable. I've grown radishes in old yogurt containers and cracked plastic pots in a colander with holes drilled in the bottom. They do not care. If you've never successfully grown anything before, start here. You will have food in your hands in less than a month. One more thing on radishes. They're a gap filler. Anytime you harvest a plant and have empty soil in a container, throw radish seeds in. They'll be done before your next crop even needs the space. They're basically free food that fits in the gaps of everything else you're growing. Number 14, spinach. Spinach in a container is genuinely one of the best food per square inch ratios you'll find. It grows dense, it tolerates shade better than almost anything else on this list, and you can do a cut-and-come-again harvest. Take the outer leaves, leave the center, it regrows. One pot keeps producing for weeks. It also handles cold really well, one of the few things you can keep growing into late autumn in a container without any special protection. If you've got a north-facing balcony that gets minimal sun, spinach is probably your best option out of everything on this list. Number 13, lettuce. Similar logic to spinach. Cut and come again, shade-tolerant, fast. But lettuce has one thing spinach doesn't: variety. You can grow a mix of loose-leaf varieties in one pot and have a genuinely beautiful container that also feeds you. Most people don't think about that. The visual side of it matters if you're dealing with a small space. Number 12, herbs. I'm grouping them because the principle is the same across all of them. Basil, mint, chives, parsley, thyme, all thrive in containers and produce continuously with minimal attention. But here's the one most people miss. Mint in a container is actually better than mint in the ground. In the ground, it spreads aggressively and takes over everything nearby. In a pot, it stays exactly where you put it and just keeps pushing out fresh growth all season. Basil specifically responds well to being cut back regularly. Every time you pinch a stem just above a leaf node, it pushes 2 new stems out from that point. So the more you harvest it, the bushier and more productive it gets. It's one of those rare plants where using it actively makes it grow better. A single large pot of basil kept well harvested through summer will produce more than most people can realistically use fresh. Dry the excess, freeze it in oil, give it away. But don't let it bolt. Once it flowers, the leaf quality drops fast, so pinch those flower stems off as soon as you see them.
Number 11, onions. Spring onions, specifically. Regular bulb onions need too much space and time for most containers, but spring onions are a different story. Dense planting, fast growth, and here's the trick. When you harvest them, leave the roots in the pot and water it. They regrow, not once, multiple times from the same planting. If you want more content like this, container growing, high yield, small spaces, stuff that actually works, you can subscribe. I cover a lot of this. All right, we're getting into the serious producers now. One pattern interrupt before we get into the top 10. The single biggest mistake I see people make with container vegetables is using pots that are too small. It seems obvious, but it's incredibly common. A tomato in a 1-gallon pot will survive. It won't produce. Root space is the ceiling on everything. Yield, plant size, how long it keeps producing. When in doubt, go bigger. A 5-gallon minimum for most of what's left on this list, 10 gallons for anything that gets large. Number 10. Kale. Kale in a container goes hard. One plant in a 5-gallon pot produces continuously for months. Again, cut and come again, and it handles cold better than almost any other productive vegetable you'll grow. The outer leaves just keep coming. I've had a single kale plant outlast 2 full tomato cycles in the same season. It also looks good, which sounds shallow but genuinely matters when you're growing on a balcony or patio where the plants are visible every day. Kale in a pot is actually ornamental enough that people regularly mistake it for a decorative plant, and then you eat it. Number 9. Eggplant. This one surprises people. Eggplant is actually very well suited to containers. It likes warmth, and a pot in a sunny spot heats up faster than garden soil. One plant in a 5-gallon pot will give you a steady stream of fruit through the summer. Not a mountain of food, but consistent, reliable production that doesn't ask a lot from you once it's established. One thing worth noting about eggplant that most guides skip, it's a heavy feeder once it starts fruiting. A slow-release fertilizer worked into the potting mix at planting, plus a liquid feed every 2 weeks once flowers appear, makes a significant difference in fruit size and how long the plant keeps producing. Without it, the plant runs out of steam faster than it should. Number 8. Beans. Bush beans, specifically. Not climbing beans, unless you set up a trellis, which you absolutely can. Bush beans produce a huge flush of pods. You harvest them all at once, and then, if you leave the plant, it often pushes a second, smaller flush. One large container gives you enough beans for several meals in a single harvest. The key with beans in containers is pot size. Go bigger than you think you need. A 10-gallon container will outproduce a 5-gallon one significantly. The root space translates directly to pod production with beans. I learned that the hard way after a pretty underwhelming first season in a pot that was just too small.
Number 7. Peppers. Hot or sweet, both work brilliantly in containers. Peppers love heat, and a dark-colored pot in full sun creates exactly the warm root environment they want. One plant produces all season long. Flowers keep coming, fruit keeps setting, and unlike some vegetables that have a clear peak and then decline, peppers just maintain steady production from midsummer right through to the first frost. One plant, one pot, months of peppers. Hot peppers in particular are almost unfairly productive in containers. A single chili plant can produce hundreds of peppers over a season. Hundreds! In a pot! I had a Thai chili plant last year that I genuinely couldn't keep up with. Ended up drying most of them because there was no way we were eating that many fresh. Not complaining. Number 6. Cucumbers. This is the one that surprises people most in the first half of this list. Cucumbers in containers? Yes, and they produce like crazy if you do one thing. Grow them vertically. A trellis, a bamboo frame, a fence, anything they can climb. Vertical growth keeps the fruit clean, increases airflow, and lets you fit a genuinely productive plant into a very small footprint. One plant up a trellis in a 5-gallon pot will produce more cucumbers than most people can eat through the peak of summer. The variety matters. Bush or patio cucumbers are bred specifically for container growing, and they stay compact while still producing full-sized fruit. Standard vining varieties will work, but they get big fast. Something I didn't figure out until my second season growing cucumbers in containers: pollination matters. If you're on a high balcony with limited insect access, the flowers don't always get pollinated and the fruit doesn't set. Fix: take a small brain paint, dab it inside a male flower, then transfer it to a female flower. Takes 30 seconds. Suddenly, everything starts setting fruit. Felt ridiculous doing it. Worked immediately. Have you grown any of these in containers before? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious which ones people have tried and which ones surprised them. Okay, top 5. These are the ones that genuinely changed how I think about container growing.
Number 5. Cherry tomatoes. Not regular tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, and specifically a compact variety like Tumbling Tom or Tiny Tim. These things produce almost non-stop from midsummer through autumn. The fruit is smaller, but the plant doesn't put energy into growing giant individual tomatoes. It redirects everything into volume. Hundreds of small tomatoes from one pot. The other advantage over regular tomatoes is the harvest window. Regular tomatoes give you a big flush and then slow down.
Cherry tomatoes just keep going. I picked from the same container plant for almost 4 months last year. Same plant, still producing in late October when everything else had basically given up. Number 4, leafy greens as a system. I know I already covered individual greens, but this is different. The idea is to plant multiple varieties in one large container. Spinach, lettuce, mustard greens, chard, all together. Stagger them by maturity speed. The fast ones come out first and create space for the slower ones. One container feeds you continuously for an entire season. The visual effect of a well-planted mixed greens container is genuinely beautiful. Red charred stems, dark green spinach, frilly pale lettuce. It looks like something from a garden magazine, except you're eating it every week. That combination of productive and attractive is hard to beat in a small space. Before we hit the top 3, quick note on soil because it matters more in containers than anywhere else. Regular garden soil in a pot compacts over time and roots can't breathe. What works is a mix of good quality potting mix, perlite for drainage, and a bit of compost for nutrients. That combination stays loose, drains well, and holds enough moisture without waterlogging. It's the same mix I use for everything on this list, and it makes a real difference versus just filling a pot with whatever's cheap. Number 3, zucchini. Now I know what you're thinking. Zucchini in a container? That plant gets enormous. And you're right, it does. But here's the thing. One plant in a large container, we're talking 15 to 20 gallons, produces more food than almost anything else on this list by sheer weight. A single zucchini plant at peak production will give you more food than you can realistically eat. The trick is harvesting young before they get to baseball bat size, which will happen if you turn your back for 3 days. Small zucchinis at 6 to 8 inches are tender, delicious, and the plant keeps producing. Leave them to get giant and the plant slows down. Pick regularly and it just keeps going all summer. Number 2, potato. Now this is where it gets fun. Potatoes in a container are a completely different experience from potatoes in the ground. You fill a grow bag or bucket with soil, plant your seed potatoes, keep mounding soil over the growing stems, and at the end of the season, you just dump the whole thing out. No digging, just tip it over and the potatoes spill out. A single 10-gallon grow bag can produce 3 to 5 pounds of potatoes. That sounds modest, but think about the space. A grow bag takes up about the same floor area as a large pot of flowers. And unlike most vegetables where you're harvesting a little at a time, the potato moment is genuinely satisfying. You tip the bag and suddenly there's a pile of food that wasn't visible at all while it was growing. The hidden food reserve angle is real too. The potatoes just sit underground in the bag and you can leave them there past harvest without them going off, unlike most vegetables that need to be picked immediately. It's genuinely like having a food reserve sitting on your balcony that nobody knows is there. Number 1, sweet potato. And here's why it's number 1. Sweet potato gives you 2 completely separate edible harvests from a single container. The tubers underground, that's harvest 1. The leaves and shoots above ground, completely edible, nutritious, used like spinach across a huge range of cuisines from West Africa to Southeast Asia. That's harvest 2. Most people growing sweet potatoes in the West have absolutely no idea the leaves are edible. They watch the vines grow for months and then just trim them back and throw them in the compost. That's food going in the bin. The leaves are genuinely delicious, slightly sweet, soft when cooked, very similar texture to spinach or water spinach. Sauté them with garlic and they're done in 3 minutes. You can start harvesting leaves within weeks of planting while the tubers are still slowly developing underground. So you get weeks of continuous leaf harvests as a side benefit before the main tuber event even arrives. 2 crops, 1 container, same season. That's why it's number 1.
So to recap the system, not just the list, what makes all 15 of these work in containers isn't luck and it's not some special technique. It's choosing crops that either produce continuously through cut-and-come-again harvests, radishes, spinach, lettuce, herbs, kale, leafy greens, or crops that produce in concentrated high-value bursts that justify the container space, beans, zucchini, potatoes, sweet potatoes. Every plant on this list earns its pot. Nothing decorative, nothing that just sits there looking nice and producing almost nothing. Everything either feeds you continuously or delivers a real payoff at harvest. That's the filter. Use it on anything you're thinking of adding. The next video covers how to set up a container garden system that produces year-round, not just through summer, which crops to transition to in autumn, how to keep a cold-tolerant container going through winter, and how to time spring planting so you're harvesting before most people have even bought their seedlings. It's a natural next step from this list, and it covers the gaps, what to grow when summer crops are done. If that sounds useful, it's worth sticking around for. See you there.